Hello everyone. We can see the first unit is introduction. It is very basic unit. In this we have already discussed concept of open loop system, closed loop control system, transfer function, that is Laplace transform of output upon Laplace transform of input if initial conditions are 0. In the A point we have to discuss the concept of system, that is physical system, physical model, linear and non-linear systems, time variant and time invariant system. In B, equations of physical system, that is mass, spring, dashpot system, RLC series and parallel circuit, transfer function and procedure of obtaining the transfer function. Now let's discuss unit first. The unit first is introduction. In this we are going to discuss what is the general physical model for the system. Here we can see the block diagram of basic system, in which input is given to a system in order to produce the output. Here in this way we can describe input is external excitation applied to a system. What is system? It is interconnection of different physical components such that it will produce the controlled output. What is output? When input is given to the system, output is the resultant. In this way we can describe the system, physical model and physical working of the system. Now let's discuss the practical example of the system. Here we can see here are 14 different examples of the system, that is clinical thermometer, speedometer, electric iron, solar system, electric toaster, washing machine, electric heater, air conditioner, domestic refrigerator, radio, television, electric motor, electric switch, furnace, automobile driving system. Now moving towards next, the classification of the system is in the 4 ways depending upon the method of analysis and design: linear system, non-linear system. Depending upon the type of system, there are 5 categories, that is electromechanical, biological, hydraulic, thermal, pneumatic system. Depending upon the number of input and number of outputs, there are 2 types, that is single input single output system, multiple input multiple output system. Then 4th category is depending upon the function performed: energy conservation system, circulatory system, transducer system and finally the control system. Now let's discuss what is the open loop control system and closed loop control system. Here is the general block diagram of the open loop control system. As we have discussed in the class, we know that when reference input, that is R of t, is given to the controller, actuating signal will be there. We represent actuating signal by V of t. Now it is given to the process, plant or control process. It will give you the control output, that is C of t. Now moving towards next, the practical examples of the open loop systems are like this: automatic washing machine, automatic traffic control system, room heating system, automatic bread toaster. Here are some another examples: domestic water heater, electric lift, air conditioner, automatic coffee maker and hand dryer. Let's discuss the advantages and disadvantages of the open loop control system. It is simple in construction and design. It is easier to fabricate the system. It is economical. It is easy for the maintenance. It is comparatively more stable as the feedback is absent. It is easy to install. It consumes comparatively less power. The solution of integral differential equation of continuous time systems can be easily obtained. Initial conditions are automatically incorporated. Both complementary and particular solution can be obtained in one operation, which gives the complete solution. Now let's discuss the disadvantages. It is having the slow response. It is not flexible. It has the moderate accuracy. Obviously it depends upon the calibration. The feedback is not present, hence accuracy is going to be moderate. It has self-correcting action, hence it is non-automatic. It is highly sensitive to environmental conditions such as noise, vibration, voltage variation, temperature, aging and loading. Its operation degenerates if non-linearities are present in the system. It has small blob bandwidth. Now let's discuss closed loop system. Here we can see the diagram of closed loop system. Here we can see open loop system and closed loop system is same. Only here feedback is present and their feedback was absent. Reference input is given to the comparator. Comparator will compare this feedback signal and reference input. Error signal here it is generated. It is given to the control element. Hence actuating signal will be generated, that is U of t. It is given to the control process or plant. Then controlled output will be produced. Hence feedback is taken from the output. Here will be the feedback signal. This process will go on up till the error is as equals to 0. This is my closed loop system. Now moving towards next, we can take the practical examples of the closed loop control system, that is feedback control system. Domestic refrigerators, automatic electric iron, automatic room heater, human beings, aircraft automation system, speed governing system, automatic liquid level controller, automatic hot water heater, guided missiles, servo voltage stabilizers, DC motor speed controller, railway reservation display, servo motor controller, tacho feedback, automatic temperature controller, automatic tension control in the textile mills. Now let's see the advantages of closed loop system. Obviously feedback is present, hence it has very fast response. Second, it has very high degree of accuracy. It is more reliable. It is self-correcting. It is more flexible. It is independent of environmental condition. It has high accuracy operating zone, that is large bandwidth. It is insensitive to external disturbance and internal variation. It has better operation even in non-linearities. It can be adjusted to optimum control performance. It can handle large number of variables. Here are some disadvantages. It is more complex cause feedback is present, elements will be more. It requires more number of components. It is difficult to build. Obviously if construction is complex, it is difficult to build. It is costlier, hence economical. It consumes more power. It is comparatively less stable. It needs more maintenance. Now I hope everyone got the concept of open loop system, diagram, practical examples, advantages, disadvantages of open loop system and closed loop system. If you haven't understood this, just you need to go through this comparison. You will get what is open loop system and closed loop system. Just remember this table. It is very simple. It is simple and economical. It is complex and costlier. Second point, it is easier to construct as it requires less number of components. Second point, it is not easy to construct as it requires more number of components. Third point, it does not require feedback path elements. In closed loop control system, it requires feedback path elements. Fourth point, it consumes less power. It consumes more power. Fifth, it is more stable. It is less stable. Sixth point, its performance accuracy depends upon the calibration. It has inherent accuracy due to feedback. It has poor accuracy. It has better accuracy. Eighth point is it does not give automatic correction for any external disturbances. It gives automatic correction for external disturbances because feedback is present. Ninth point, it is more sensitive to noise and other disturbances. It is less sensitive to noise and other disturbances. 10th point, it is less reliable. It is more reliable. It is dependent on its operating condition. It is independent of its operating condition. 12th point, its operation degenerates if non-linearities are present. It gives good operation even in non-linearities are present. 13, it has slow response. It has fast response. 14, it has low bandwidth. It has high bandwidth. The funda of open loop control system and closed loop control system comparison is that everything happened in case this comparison 14 points are because in open loop control system feedback is absent and in closed loop system feedback is present. The main root cause of these all 14 differences is that in open loop control system feedback is absent and in closed loop system feedback is present. This is the very key point to remember in case of open loop and closed loop system. Now we'll move towards the linear and non-linear system. Let's discuss the comparison. If you will just remember the comparison, you are able to memorize the theory. As we have discussed in the class, first point, it follows the principle of superposition. Non-linear system does not follow the principle of superposition. Second point, the magnitude of signal is limited to the range in which the system component exhibit the linear characteristics. In this, the magnitude of signal is extended beyond the range of linear operation. Third point, the input-output response has a linear relationship. It has represented by a straight line. In case of non-linear, the input-output response has a non-linear relationship and can be represented by a curved line. Fourth point, the steady-state output will be same as the input. The steady-state output may not be same as the input. It can be easily treated by simple mathematical tools. In non-linear system, it can be easily treated in a simple way. It cannot be easily treated in a simple way. Sixth point, its transfer function exhibits a true representation of a system. Its transfer function does not exhibit true representation of a system. Now moving towards next, we'll just see the difference between time varying and time invariant system. First point is, the measuring parameters vary with time without any non-linearity during the operation. Means these parameters will vary with respect to time. In case of time varying system, the measuring parameters are unaffected by the time during the operation. Means the parameters are independent upon the time. Second, it is described by the linear differential equation with the constant coefficient. It is described by the linear differential equation with variable coefficient. Now our next point is mathematical models of physical system, control hardware and their models. We have already discussed this in class, so we'll take this from these notes which we have discussed already in the class. So modeling of the system. Mechanical system, I have already told there are two types, translational and rotational. In translational motion, the motion of the body along the straight line or curved path. In a rotational motion, the motion of body is along its own axis. The mechanics of translational motion. We have just discussed this mass spring damper by the table. That is only elaborated in this theory. We'll directly just move towards this table. This is translational elements, that is mass, spring and damper. We'll just see the mathematical expression for this. So we can see here, if force is applied to the mass, it will get displaced. So mathematical expression will be F is equals to m into d square x by dt square. That is the expression for the mass. If you are applying the force to the dashpot, or you can say damper, the expression will be F is equals to b into d by dt of x1 minus x2. You can write this x1 minus x2 as x in generalized form. This is the expression for the damper. Spring, if you are applying force to this side, it will get displaced. Then F is equals to k into x, that is spring. If you wanna find out the generalized equation for the translational elements, you have to just add this. What will be the equation then? F is equals to m d square x by dt square plus b dx by dt plus k into x. So this will be the expression. Now moving towards the rotational system. Again we'll discuss this table. Here we can see, if you are applying the torque, what will happen? T is equals to J into d square theta by dt square. That is the expression of inertia. If you are applying the torque to the damper or dashpot, T is equals to B into d by d theta by dt. You can write this theta 1 minus theta 2 as theta in generalized form. So if you are applying the torque to this spring, T is equals to k theta, that is spring. If you want to find out rotational system generalized equation, you have to just simply add this 3. Then what will become? T is equals to j d square theta by dt square plus b d theta by dt plus k into theta. Same as the translational motion. Now we'll move towards the RLC network. Here we can see RLC circuit. Just apply the KVL. We know that I is equals to dq by dt, rate of change of charge. So V of t will be R into dq by dt. Just replace this by, just put this I is equals to dq by dt. This will become, so take the Laplace transform. So just replace d by dt by s. This will become, so take the s square and second order term first order, then constant. So this is the term. Now we have already discussed the translational system, the addition of this all. Force is equals to m d square x by dt square plus b into dx by dt plus kx. Just take the Laplace transform of these two. This will get this. So here we can see force is analogous to voltage, m is analogous to L, second order system, hence L is analogous to m, B is analogous to R, K is analogous to 1 by C. Now we have just discussed this rotational system equation. Take the Laplace of this. Now just we will remember this force voltage analogy. That is, in translational system, force is equivalent to voltage, is equivalent to torque, mass equivalent to inductance, equivalent to inertia, damper equivalent to resistance, equivalent to damper, spring equivalent to rate of change of charge, equivalent to spring, displacement, charge, displacement, velocity, current and velocity. This table we have prepared from these equations. Just compare second order system, right hand side system, first order system and constant. You will get this chart. We have discussed this in detail. Now moving towards next, either you will prepare this, otherwise you can prepare that also. Now moving towards next, our next point is transfer function. As we know that transfer function is nothing but Laplace transform of output upon Laplace transform of input if initial conditions are 0. Here you can see transfer function of a system. Our next point is transfer function of system. We'll see the properties or features. First is, it is the ratio between the Laplace transform of an output variable to the Laplace transform of the input variable. It is applicable to the linear time invariant system. It is not applicable for the non-linear system. It is assumed that all initial conditions will be 0. It is independent of the input variable of a system. It is used to obtain the output response of a system. It is specifically describes behavior of a linear system. Here we can see the advantages and disadvantages of the transfer function. It converts integral differential time domain to simple algebraic equation. It gives total solution to the linear differential equation. It helps to study the stability analysis of linear system. It helps in determining important information about the system, that is poles, zeros and characteristic equation. It helps to calculate the output response of the system of any type of reference input. It gives more accurate result. It is more rational and systematic. Limitation: it is applicable to only linear time invariant system and not other system. It is not does not provide any information about the physical structure of a system. It does not provide any idea about how the present output is progressing. It does not take into account the initial conditions. The initial conditions lost its significance. Now let's discuss the transfer function of closed loop system. As we all know, this is the closed loop system. Just error signal is represented as R of s. Here sign is minus, so we'll take minus b of s. R of s is equals to, just take this b of s to the left hand side, it will become plus. We'll get this equation h of s. Now I need to find out the b of s. How you are just going to find out the b of s? Already in class I have told you, multiply last two consecutive equations. B of s, this signal is coming from this, so c of s into h of s will be b of s. C of s into h of s. Okay, now moving towards next, I need to calculate the c of s. How I am just going to calculate the c of s? Last two consecutive multiplication, e of s into g of s. So here will be g of s into e of s. Now R of s is equals to, look at 1.3.8 and 1.3.6. just put this equation into this. R of s will be equals to e of s as it is plus as it is, just put this b of s as h of s into c of s. Now R of s is equals to c of s, I know, g of s into e of s, I have put this like this. R of s is equals to e of s, in bracket what will happen here, 1 plus h of s into g of s. Now we know that closed loop system having transfer function c of s by R of s. So c of s, here we have calculated 1.4. Write this as it is, g of s into e of s upon R of s. Write this 1.4.1 as it is, e of s upon 1 plus g of s into h of s. This e of s and e of s will get cancelled, and what will remain, g of s upon 1 plus g of s into h of s. We have already five or more times we have discussed this derivation. I hope you have understood this. If your feedback, that is h of s is 1, then equation will be g of s upon 1 plus g of s into h of s. Now let's find out the transfer function of open loop system. As we know, it is the ratio of feedback signal B of S to the error signal E of S, B of S upon E of S. Just dividing and multiplying by C of S. There will be no change in the equation. Just multiply and divide by C of S. Then what will happen? This B of S upon C of S is nothing but my H of S, and this is nothing but my G of S. Then finally this equation will obtain. Then let's find out the transfer function for the single input single output system. Here we can see here is a single input single output. Just take the Laplace transform of this. Laplace transform of C of t is C of S. Laplace transform of R of t is R of S. We'll get this equation. Very simple. Now to just calculate this generalized form of Sisu system, let's consider nth order differential equation. We can write the transfer function of Sisu system in this way also: b m plus 1 s raised to m. Just decrease the m power by 1 b to s, finally 0. b1 into s raised to 0 means 1 upon s raised to n plus an s raised to n minus 1 plus and so on up to a to s plus a1. This is the generalized form. You can remember this also or that also. Transfer function for the MIMO system, that is multiple input multiple output. Here we can see R of S, R2 of S, many inputs, more than one, C1 of S, C2 of S, many outputs. So we can describe this by this equation. So finally Gij is equals to Ci of S upon Rj of S, provided Bk of S is equals to 0. So in generalized form we can write like this: C of S will vary C1, C2 and so on up to CQ. R1 will vary R1, R2 and so on up to RP. I'm just telling you that in multiple input and multiple output system, your C can be vary from C1 to CQ. R can be vary from R1 to RP. Your system can having any order: 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 5 by 5 and so on, infinity by infinity. So you can describe this by this equation. Now what we had discussed, it's very simple. Concept of open and closed loop system. It is more than sufficient if you will remember the chart, comparison chart. Concept of system, we have already discussed this. Linear and non-linear difference, remember that chart. Time invariant and time variant system, remember that chart. Equations of physical system, refer that colorful diagram, otherwise you can refer the notes of this also. Now transfer function, we have discussed the transfer function features, advantages, disadvantages. Procedure of obtaining the transfer function, we have discussed to obtain the transfer function by 4 ways, that is open loop system, for closed loop system, for single input single output system, for multiple input multiple output system. Hope everyone has understood this. Thank you so much.